Oh, what it do, YouTube? It's your boy Key coming at y'all boys with a brand new video. And today, let me tell you, we're going to be getting into another one. And one thing an OG told me as I was coming up, some things have a statute of limitations and some other things don't. And for instance, them bodies, man, when you do what you do, you're going to be on the run for the rest of your life. Even if they don't know that you did what you did. And they ain't even looking your way. Just know you still on the run. You feel me? So, with that being said, man, let's go ahead and get into this video.
And what's the address of the emergency?
I don't know where I am. Please send me out.
All right, we're going to get police on the way.
Help me. Thank you.
I ain't gonna lie. Damn, that shit was loud. Excuse me. I ain't gonna lie, bro. It's something about them 911 calls that just hit different. Like, a lot of the things that we react to is kind of tragic in some senses, and really understanding the just harsh realities of the world that we live in. But those 911 calls, bro, they hit different every time. 2 hours.
I'm trying to never go back to jail. I'm too old to go to jail, man.
How old are you now?
I'm 62 to 63 or something like that. Too old to go to jail, man.
Damn.
I wanted to live the rest of my days out, enjoy my daughter, enjoy the woman I wanted to marry, enjoy my brothers, just enjoy life completely.
Now, I ain't gonna count, right? So that means that he did this murder when he was about 20 years old, right? Think about the people who did it at 20 and got caught. Because your time don't start until you get caught. If you ever get caught. So it don't matter if you commit a murder today and get caught 10 years later, 20 years later. If they give you 40 years, it don't start after, like, you know what I'm saying?
I never thought this gentleman here would come back after he first talked to me.
Family, in this video, we see this chilling moment when a DC killer who evaded justice for 44 years realized he'd been caught. This case highlights the advancements in technology that has transformed criminal investigations since the 1970s. In the 70s, forensic methods were rudimentary, relying heavily on eyewitnesses' accounts and basic physical evidence. There were no DNA tests, and fingerprints analysts were less sophisticated. Investigators often face significant challenges in solving cases due to the lack of resources and technology. Today, forensic science has made tremendous strides. DNA profiling can now identify suspects with incredible accuracy, allowing law enforcement to link individuals to crime long after they were committed. Cold case units utilize advanced technology, including digital databases and enhanced forensic techniques to re-examine evidence. Additionally, tools like facial recognition software and social media analysts have revolutionized how authorities track down suspects. This evolution in technology not only aids in solving cold cases, but also serves as a deterrent, knowing that justice can be pursued even decades later. The case of this DC killer serves as a prominent reminder of how far we've came to fight against crime. But before we go over this one, I want you guys to remember, I won't give you no angle. I just give you the story. So with that being said,
okay, I'm not gonna cap though. Let's just be real, right? I don't think they should be able to use whatever evidence they think they have 40 years later. It's not like they got, like he said, like a DNA sample or this, that, and the third. It's mostly eyewitness accounts. Even though the dumbass just sat right there and admitted it, I would have took it to trial. Because either way, unless they give you like manslaughter, you gonna die in prison. So why would you admit to a murder from 40 years ago? Like, bro, the evidence that y'all got is not gonna stand in court, bro. Let's just keep it a bean. Like, if you don't got nobody who finna come in court and tell on me from something that happened 40 years ago, You ain't getting no conviction.
Make sure you
I
like,
ain't gonna lie.
comment, and
not
subscribe.
from when
We'll
and they
jump
ain't
right
had no
to
cameras.
it. If you lose your mom at the age of 7, what do revenge look like to you? Some say this story has the sweetest revenge. After a man who was just 7 years old when he lost his mom, wait decades to get some justice. But during this time, he managed to become a high-ranking official in a DA office, also becoming an attorney before finally getting justice 44 years later.
Oh shit. Now look, this just took a turn that I was not expecting, but I should have seen it coming. This reminds me of the movie Carolina Skeletons. When it's like the dude went to the military, he came back and he found his brother's killer. Like, you might have forgot about it, the police might have forgot about it, but them people who loved her and knew about her will never forget.
May I introduce to you Vicky Lindbelk. 28-year-old Vicky would decide to run errands after work on a warm August afternoon in 1979 and would never return home. Vicky's family took action right away, reporting her missing as they desperately waited for answers. For 2 weeks, the world was shattered when Vicky's remains were discovered miles from home. Vicky was born March 20th, 1951, to parents Lonnie and Maydale Belk. She was the oldest child, making her the big sister of 5 siblings. There were 6 Belk children in total, 5 girls and 1 boy. Vicky and her sister Judy were the first black students to attend Minnie Howard Elementary School in Alexandria, Virginia, after her parents successfully won a civil rights lawsuit that forced Virginia to comply with the Supreme Court Brown versus Board of Education school desegregation ruling. In 1979, then 28 years old, Vicky was a mother to a little boy and worked as management analyst for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C. Just 2 weeks before Vicky's disappearance, her family had gathered at the Oakland Baptist Church to watch Vicky's little sister Judy get married. Vicky was Judy's maid of honor and helped organize much of the celebration. On August 28, 1979, Vicky's then boyfriend reported her missing to the Prince George's County.
How your life can change like that. Now, I'm not going to count. The boyfriend reported it?
Police department after last seeing her the day before at their shared place of work in Washington, D.C. Vicky had not returned to her apartment in Suitland, Maryland. The next day, August 29, 1979, a local teenager called 911 after noticing a body on the ground in a wooded area. The location was Church Road and 227. Officers with the Charles County Sheriff's Office responded to the location and discovered the body of a woman with a gunshot wound to the right side of her head and undressed from the waist down. On August 30th, 1979, Vicky was positively identified as the woman who was discovered in the wooded area. The Office of Chief Medical Examiner in Baltimore ruled her cause of death to be from the gunshot wound. Investigators recovered, processed, and maintained evidence during the initial investigation. However, the case went cold. In the following years, several detectives worked on the case. In more recent years, Detective Sergeant John Elliott in the Charles County Sheriff's Office Criminal Investigation Division continued the investigation and worked with various agencies to pursue leads. As forensic technology advanced, the evidence of the murder continued to be re-examined. Learned he was arrested for violent crimes that occurred in Washington, D.C. 2 murders that somehow he got away with, which you'll later hear about in his interrogation. It was also discovered that Taylor lived at a residence on Bryan's Road around the time of the murder.
Yeah, and I ain't gonna cap. Shit like this is what always makes me think like you can only get away with so much. You might, and even if you get away with it and you might live your life and pass away on, you know what I'm saying, old age or health complications, your children might be cursed with something that you did. That's crazy.
This was less than 4 miles where Vicky's body was discovered. Taylor also had connections in the area of Washington, D.C., where it's believed that Belk was abducted. Detectives began trying to locate Taylor, but they had no known address since 2019. In collaboration with the United States Homeland Security Investigations, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department Homicide, and the U.S. Secret Service Baltimore Field Office, detectives at the Charles County Sheriff's Office were able to locate Taylor in Washington, D.C., where he resided. On June 22, 2023, Taylor was arrested by detectives assigned to the Charles County Sheriff's Office Criminal Investigation Division. He had a warrant for his arrest. And now you hear from a DC killer who got away with murder twice already. And now, 44 years later, he realized he's charged with another murder. Check it out.
This is my partner. We're gonna keep the door open. Seems a little hot in this building for some reason. Going to explain to you why we're here. You have any questions for me before we start?
We're gonna watch a little bit of this, bro, because I'm not gonna count, bro. 2 hours of interrogation is crazy. I ain't with that at all. You know what I'm saying? And we gonna see what's going on for a little bit.
Okay. It seemed like you did recall me coming to nursing home back in March when I got your DNA.
Bro, but how can you match somebody's DNA?
All right.
Well, I mean, your DNA don't change.
Do you have any questions for me? Like again,
but how would you have DNA?
Do you have anything you want to ask me before we get started?
No murder weapon.
I know you've got some history over your life. I'm not judging you in any means. With that, before I can ask you any questions, you know the process with that? And just to make sure, I know you're not saying a word, but can you at least acknowledge if you hear me? You understand what I'm saying to you? You know where you're at right now? Mr. Taylor, I just need to get engaged. I just need to make sure you understand what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying. Just don't have no answer to say nothing to you.
Okay. Well, before I ask you any questions, I got to go through your rights. Do you know what your rights are?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Would you like me to read them to you?
No, you don't.
Okay. Why is that?
You gonna read them to me?
Absolutely.
You said, well, I don't want you to read them.
No. I'm asking if you know your rights, but I would also like to read them to you before I get started.
Yeah, I know my rights.
Okay. I'm gonna read them to you anyway. All right.
So then, what was the fucking point? Just do it. Just be like, look, man, I'm finna read you your rights and read them to you, like, and then ask him afterwards, do you understand? He like, what? I'm about to say you can't ask me questions without reading his rights.
Before I ask any questions, and since technically you're in custody, this is why I got to read your rights. Okay. And then after getting to read your rights and explain everything to why we're here and what led us to make an arrest for you. All right. Before I ask any questions, you must understand your rights or what your rights are. You may remain silent.
I don't have a license. You know, me, like I said, I'm puzzled because I can't see no woman being in the road at that time where we was living at down there. Okay. Because it was, I don't know, like a country road, I say that, up and down there.
Right.
And you got on one side a ditch, and the other side of the ditch. I mean,
but I'm not gonna cap though. One thing that I will say that I never understood. I mean, I understand that it takes time and effort, and even if you wanted to really hide a body, eventually, if it's going to be discovered, it's going to be discovered. Why do they just dump the bodies on the side of the road? Like, I never, like, if I'm going to do something to somebody, I'm going to try to some way, somehow to get rid of the body. Whether I got to chop you up, whether I got to throw you in a wood chipper, whether I got to, you know what I'm saying, dig a hole, you know what I'm saying, stash a body somewhere, dig a hole, come back and, like, get you, like, do something. Like, I'm not just gonna leave the body in plain view of a human. Like, that's the dumbest shit ever.
She was found somewhere like that, cool. I'm saying cool, not that she was killed. When I say cool, that's how it was, a ditch. I can't see, excuse me, that woman being left in the road like that. Not down there. And we not see it when we used to leave in the morning to come up to D.C. I can't buy that. And we didn't, you know, not run over, but see it and go around or call the police.
Where she was found out was kind of a side street. It wasn't really on this main road, not in Marshall Hall. It was.
Now you switching it.
No.
But the thing about it also though is that when they have you in the interrogation room, I always suspect that you're the suspect. So obviously he has some type of knowledge about what's going on. But just know that there's nothing that you can say that's going to really free you up. Especially when they did all this work and came 40 years later, 45 years later. it ain't really nothing that you gonna say that's gonna free you up. Like your lawyer gonna have to do that.
I'm not gonna bring trouble to your home like that. You know, no, never did anyone ever take me home, because if I didn't make it home with her, I used to have a little girlfriend I used to stay with, Naomi, to stay around the corner. You know, I go stay with her. You know,
this young lady who was killed found in the area where you stayed, and her car was taken from the area where you lived in the city, and it was recovered back in the city in the same area where you lived.
right.
And then she's dead, and your DNA, specifically semen, is all over her. So we need some kind of explanation for that.
I need an explanation for it.
Well, we're the ones here asking you.
No, I know what you said, but I'm saying I need an explanation for myself for it. You know?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. So from here on out, it's just gonna go straight downhill. Your DNA is found all over this woman. Nobody else ain't got, even if you didn't do it, you did it. Because they ain't got nobody else to go off of. Who else they gonna go off of? We got your DNA on this dead body. What do you know? You better tell us something. Was you romantically involved with her or what? But then they say that her pants was put, yeah. Which is like more one of the more weird things. Like, I never understood how people can just do, like, bro, like, how could you force yourself on somebody? I don't care. Like, it's something really wrong in your head.
No. The people at the rehabilitation center, I tell you, I may argue with one girl, that's the girl I'm involved with, to be married. Other than that, I don't even say nothing to the rest of the girls.
Right.
Like I tell them, ask your man, don't ask me. Mm-hmm. You want a cigarette or whatever, ask your man. Because I don't know how he feel if I give you a cigarette or what he thinking.
Right.
The same way I used to tell my woman, don't ask them for nothing. You don't know how I feel about that.
Right.
You know? Not that I would hurt anybody, but you don't know my attitude towards you about that.
You can't say shit like that and think it's not going to be used against you. We didn't say nothing about harming nobody. You threw that in there as a detail. You giving in them little sidebars that people be having. They pay attention to them. I mean, like when people be like, well, I mean, even if I did, I would have, like, they pay attention to all this shit. You just the dumbass who gonna sit right here and just talk yourself into a hole. You got a 2-hour interrogation tape and you mean there's not one thing you said in 2 hours that's self-incriminating? You crazy as hell. Ain't no way. Like, come on, man. Ain't no way.
Because I have, talked to them about it before. I've never taken them there. I always described the area. And when I see Mike again, let's say that evening, about 7, 8 o'clock at the pool room, I asked, what's up, Joe? He asked me, what's up? I said, ain't nothing, Joe. What's up with you? I got a car down the street. No, that's all right, that's all right. I live right down the street. I ain't doing nothing. I'm all right. Let me go clean this, take this stuff off me. And we went separate ways that evening, the rest of the day.
So you trying to blame the car on somebody else?
I didn't have any dealings with him afterwards. Like I said, I went my way, he went his way. That's the best I remember and I could tell. Because I just don't like to, more or less say, get people up when they do something. But I guess, like they say, you have to do what you gotta do sometimes.
you said you had sex with that woman. You talking about this woman?
Yeah.
That was her? Same one I showed you a picture of? Remember what she was wearing?
How he gonna remember what he was wearing when he hit her 45 years ago?
I can't remember color. I think she had a dress.
Don't.
Yeah.
See this dumbass nigga right here, man. Man, I don't know, man. He did it though. He had to. Let's just be real, man. Your DNA. You was the last person this woman was with, bro. This just being real, bro. You the last person this woman was with. You got all this information.
So what made y'all arrest me? Because me and her had sex?
Well, that's one of the reasons why we wanted to talk to you. Maybe there was an explanation for this.
I gave you the explanation. Now what? I have to go to jail because I tell you, me and this woman had sex because another buddy of mine was driving her car. I wasn't driving.
Well, the law at the time, 1979, is when we were applying. And based on the evidence, what it looks like, again, going back to, you see, you and her completely different lives. I believe she was abducted from the Stadium Army.
How is that even legal? He just said we're applying the law from 1979. But what? That's like saying, okay, boom, we're going to implement a statute of limitations of 30 years on murder, right? But for this case, we're going to apply the law from 1979 that said there is no statute of limitations, so we charging you. Who the hell's going for that in court?
Your DNA is on her. She's found a couple miles away from where you were living at the time, and then her car is also found a block away from basically where your entire life is, or was at the time. You see how that is? And that's what the evidence, this is why we led to.
How can you pinpoint the car on me? Because it was parked in the area where I hang out at.
Well, that's
what you saying? I was driving?
I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is,
look, you cannot. You put it your own little in the story. He ain't saying you was driving. You said your buddy was driving, so you really just told on bro. But you probably gave him the car and said, hey, yo, look, see if you can get something for this. See what you can do with this. Hide this. Get rid of this for me. That's probably what it was. You was hitting shawty, or y'all was having y'all dealings. She probably, I'm trying to figure out why her, you know what I'm saying, her clothes wasn't on. Was it that she turned you down and you got violent? Like, make that part make sense to me, because like that's one of them things that got to be explained, bro.
Everything put together. There's no DNA profile, no other DNA found.
So I gotta go to jail for this.
Well, you have an opportunity to challenge the evidence and take it to trial. But based on everything, this is where we got the charges. This is why the charges are here.
That nigga guilty. I ain't gonna lie.
When even earlier when we talked, you said, yeah, you see how it looks because of everything that all the little pieces put together.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Having some DNA from 1979, when DNA really wasn't even like applicable, that's the best y'all got. Please, we ain't going for that, bro. I'm taking it to trial. I don't know about bro. I don't know about buddy. I'm taking this shit to trial.
How it appears.
So how long I gotta sit down here?
I believe you go to a hearing tomorrow morning. They do the bond hearings in the morning in the district.
Bond hearing?
Or initial appearance is what it's called. And then they'll ask
where I go to bond hearing at? In the district court?
DC Superior.
That's where I go at?
Yes, sir.
District Superior Court?
You go to DC Superior Court, and I'll ask you about extradition, whether you waive it or you're gonna fight it.
Oh, so that do make sense. Okay, so he's not in the city where he committed the murder from. You know what I'm saying? Which they say is in DC. So they got to send him over there to face the charges. Okay, cool.
Probably, I'm guessing, I could be wrong about this, you'll probably get a public defender or an attorney representing you during that process.
Damn, he wrote him off already.
Alright,
he told him you gonna get a public defender or a lawyer, but you get a public defender, nigga.
One, Miss Vicky was 28 at the time of her demise. May she rest in peace once again, and Taylor was 18. There is no evidence that indicates that Miss Vicky and Taylor knew each other before the incident. Now, during sentencing, Assistant State Attorney John Stackhouse told the judge that the incident caused generational trauma because it went on for 45 years. Miss Vicky's son grew up without a mother. Her parents had to bury their daughter. Her parents had to lay on their deathbed not knowing who killed their daughter. Her grandchildren never got a chance to meet their grandmother. Yet, all throughout the case, I've never seen a family with so much grit, determination, and grace. He furthered that with, when you victimize...
Nah, look, her right here in this blue dress look just like her. I'm talking about spitting image. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Someone like this and then murdered them, it really doesn't get more horrific than that. Echoing the word of Miss Vicky's son, he asked the judge to, quote, use the power you have to get justice, and justice in this case is life, end quote. Before sentencing Taylor to life in prison, the Honorable Judge West said that Vicky had a presence or spirit that has endured in ways that
oh my God. He called life at 65. No way. I ain't gonna count. I would be so mad, bro. Bro, you did what you did according to the court, and they had enough evidence to convict. But 45 years later, catching a life sentence, that's tough. I mean, at least you got to spend 45 years out on the street. Because if you got life at 18, but we would have never knew about you.
Never seen before. Furthering that the victim's family leaves a tremendous legacy, and that the family carries on a tremendous legacy. He also stated that the crime is a horrific loss of life. The violence was extreme. The amount of fear and terror that preceded the violence doesn't exist in most cases. So horrendous, I can't think of any lesser sentence that would be appropriate. But there you have it, fam. As we wrap this video up, we do want to say once again, rest in peace to Miss Vicky Belk. 11 condolences to her family. Want to send 11 prayers they way. Let me know how you guys feel about this one in the comments. This was the story of a DC killer who faced justice 40 plus years later. Talk to me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And today,
So the thing about it is, they wanted him for 2 bodies. You feel me? So they was coming to get you either way. You were going to go down for one or the other, and you just happened to go down for hers. That DNA on her body saying that y'all was having intercourse. You admitted to it. Like, why would you even admit to that? I don't know her. Never met her a day in my life. Like, you gonna have to prove it. You just sat right here for 2 hours after saying in the beginning, I don't have to speak to y'all. Sat right here and talked to these folks for 2 hours. Man, look, take me to jail. We're going to go to court, have a bond hearing. See if I get bond. If I don't get bond, it is what it is. Take me. I'm finna go sit until we fight trial. Like, I ain't going for it. You're going to have to prove it to me. But with that being said, it's your boy Key checking in, checking out. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We gone.